Systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Damn, I knew I shouldn't have called on this nigga.
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals. That's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this Attorney General and the FBI Director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong. That they promised an exhaustive review. That's what they did. For any further details, I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
Yo, Slim, you gonna hate me for this one. But I think Trump administration is taking the L on this one. This is too obvious. I can't defend this one.
You actually said you can't defend Trump.
I can't defend this one.
I don't know why we still on the Epstein. I mean, there's so much other things to focus on. I mean, that's just another thing that everybody was waiting on that never really came into fruition. But I mean, at the end of the day, hey, it is what it is. The way Shorty handled it was fire, though. I can't lie. She definitely.
Nah, she did not.
You know what I mean?
That's why I put that clip in there. Dave Chappelle. I didn't want to play the whole sketch on here because I don't know how YouTube act. But when he started talking about y'all worried about this and I'm worried about going to Mars, that's what I feel like just happened.
Oh man.
I smell cover up in this whole. I can't even. I'm still Trump all day. I'm still, MAGA Republican, but this one, we got to call it out when we see it.
And I don't know, man.
As of now, from what I've seen, I'm not trusting it. Gray, you want to?
Yeah, I want to play this clip for all the MAGA people that are on here, because this guy was like a major right-wing person, and even he is upset about what's going on.
Well, I woke up this morning and turned my phone on, and there were hundreds of text messages saying, oh my God, the DOJ just put out a letter that I know you've all seen now, saying there is no Epstein client list, there never was any blackmail operation, Epstein killed himself, and the investigation's closed. So everybody wants to know what I think. Well, I know what's going on. And so I'll tell you. Trump had two ways to go with all of this. He could prosecute all of these incredibly prominent people, household names, or they could use the information to blackmail the deep state. I've done deep research, have a lot of contacts, and know Trump's MO. And he's not into kids. He's not into being peed on and Russian hotels. All that was lies. We now know from the CIA and Brennan and the very crew running the Epstein operation. But the reason that you are seeing this deep sixth is because the CIA with the Mossad and MI6 was running Epstein, and it was an official U.S. government operation, multinational. And it was the family business going back to Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, and that's all on record. So if Trump was to actually prosecute this, it would bring down the CIA. And so that's why you've had Comey, who controlled the files over at the FBI with the CIA, but on that end of the DOJ, having his daughter do all the main cover-ups, not just with the Epstein and Maxwell case, but obviously P. Diddy and the rest of it. So this is the swamp winning. The question is Trump's DOJ actually using this to control the deep state? Or are they just so overwhelmed by it, they are tapping out? because, let me explain logic here. And from all obvious inside sources, we're the ones that broke with the FBI whistleblowers, O'Boyle and others, Seraphin, all of this.
Skip through some of it kind of long.
Obviously, there's nothing the globalists wouldn't do to keep this from coming out. They've already tried to kill Trump repeatedly. Had they rolled over, I see a lot of signs that, Trump's pretty much in charge now. And so all evidence points towards them using the information. You're going against your own self-preservation, serving this evil globalist system at BlackRock and the New World Order. Videos, it's all coming out. And then now it doesn't exist. What? 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 Damn it. 11 a.m. today, I'll be covering it. And no matter where this information goes, I'll always report the truth. God bless you.
So that's Alex Jones. He was known for saying that the Sandy Hook shooting was fake. And he started crying on camera because he felt like, why are they saying that it's fake? Chris, I actually saw you shake your head that you actually agree. I'm shocked because you got all the Trump stuff. So what do you think about this?
Well, hey, I may be a conservative, but I'm not going to bullshit for anybody. Excuse my language. I'm not going to sit here and lie for somebody because I believe in what they believe in. This is definitely a cover-up. And what I'm worried about more than anything, forgetting about the CIA, forgetting about the deep state, I'm worried about the victims, these children that were trafficked during all of this. That's really what we need to focus on. Now, what I think happened, everybody's got their own opinion. I think there's somebody, it may not be Trump, but there's somebody in the circle that is in trouble. That's on that list. Because there definitely is a list. Them coming out saying there's no list, that guarantees that there's a list. We've been talking about this list for years already. It's out there, and I still stand for Trump. I don't like what happened. I wish it all came out because that would be the downfall of the deep state. And if it brings down the CIA, like Alex Jones says, good. Great. We could build it up from scratch again and get some real people in there that are honest, that care about the country, rather than all these people who all they want is power. Now, we blame the Democrats for always wanting power, but there are Republicans there that want it too. It goes both ways. But really, we got to focus on the victims here. There's a lot of children who ended up on that island. Who knows what happened to them, and then think about with the all of the illegals that came across, the 20 million that came across, how many children are missing? Over 300,000? Are they part of that same network now too? There's a lot of just evil out there that we need to focus on. And we're worried about a list which should be released because that will tell us where to go next and where to get these folks. But if they're going to do that, they're doing irreparable harm to the country and to all these children that are out there that have nowhere to go and there's no escape for them. This is the last piece. If we can break through this last piece, we're there. We get our country back for real, we're getting a lot of it back now, but this is a major piece that it's a failure. It's a Trump failure, if you ask me. And hopefully it'll come out. That's all I got.
Marsha?
I don't think there's anything more complicated to this situation other than what is in that list, because people like Epstein do not do what they do without keeping very, very detailed records for themselves to protect themselves in the event that it does, because it will come for them, right? That list exists. I do not think that it has anything to do with, Trump being tired or, exhausted from it or trying to protect anybody other than himself. And when you think about how many people, big names, like names we know are most likely on that list from both sides of the aisle, from everywhere, the fact that is being kept under wraps means that whatever is in there about Trump specifically is probably pretty bad. And so I do not believe it's anything more than Trump saving himself, because he has not acted in anyone's best interest. And so And also did Elon just a couple weeks ago during their little divorce spat on Twitter talk about this Epstein list and how Trump was on it and allude to that. And so
That's what he posted.
Yeah.
That's what he posted right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And did he also mention something? Wasn't there another one where he specifically alluded to Trump being on the list? Okay. Yeah. So 100% that list exists. 100% I believe Trump is on it, as well as a bunch of other people. They may be being protected right now by this not being released, but in the end, I would believe that it's more so to protect him than anyone.
Doc.
So this panel has turned me into the Trump protector. Well, I'm here to do it, guys. Don't worry. If Trump has an Epstein list and we say that there are prominent figures on here, how is he going to release something to give these people time before he can gather evidence and maybe go after and convict these people and send the United States government to maybe indict them on a RICO? So we can't just jump the gun and say, hey, he should release some sort of classified information before the government has had its chance to do due diligence. He's been in office 6 months. He's probably not had the time in 6 months to sit down and realize, do they have a case? Can they move forward? Is there things they can do? So Trump has come off to be so honest and so upfront about things that, this may be just him, trying not to show his hand on something at the moment. But that was just for my Trump people who say I don't never back Trump. You know what I'm saying? Give him shoot him a little bail today. You know what I'm saying? We'll never know.
You know what though, and I can agree with that. I think it's just to come out with there's no list. If it's what you're saying, like they're trying to buy time and build cases, why not say, hey, we can't release it yet?
Well, Trump didn't say anything. Trump let them say it.
That don't mean nothing. They still represent him.
But historically, we've seen the reporters and these people get out there and say, oh, we're not exactly sure. Even when Trump was going to go and drop bombs, they said, oh, we're not sure what he's going to do.
No, I get that.
He would speak for himself. So they don't always, I don't think they're always in concert with what he completely has thinking. I don't think he always shares his thoughts. And sometimes they're bound not to say things that he can say.
Yeah. No, I get that. I'm just saying this is kind of like, it's unnecessary. If they're trying to build something or do something, just say, hey, we can't release it right now. It's still, they could say that, hey, we're trying to investigate, build cases if we need to, or clear things if we need to. We just can't release it right now. But to come straight out when they've been claiming that there's a list and then say there's no list, to me, that just erodes the trust for a lot of people.
I mean, I think that gives people who have billions of dollars the opportunity to pay off or kill off whoever they need to. If you're going to investigate, we'll just pay off or kill off whoever we need to.
Nah.
That's what America was founded on.
The only thing I'm upset with is that, during my times of being a Trump supporter, I always heard that we were basically fighting the battle with Kennedy, like Kennedy's battle, and Trump's, friend was Kennedy at the time, and we were basically trying to figure out who was responsible for the Kennedy death. So if you remember, when Trump ran and he won, the first thing was dropping the Kennedy files. I was excited about that. And if you go back to what Kennedy said, the reason he was unalive was he wanted to bring down the CIA. So for them to say that it will bring down the CIA, I'm kind of upset about that, because that was the whole purpose of the situation. So that's where my confliction comes into play.
Well, okay.
Go ahead, Gray.
No, that was the first time I ever heard what Slim said, but Slim is going to know all the Slim, you could be Alex Jones. You're going to know all the conspiracies and everything.
Yo, man, if you look it up, it is a meme. And when Kennedy said, I will splinter the CIA into pieces. Yeah. And he was going after the CIA. And That's another show.
For sure. Save that for Rumble. But go ahead, folks.
Nah, like I said, ever since I don't know. Last time I brought this up, I remember y'all said y'all hadn't seen the show Burn Notice.
Yeah, I seen it as a kid.
Yeah, man, as a kid.
Yeah, as a young adult, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I guess it was that long ago, huh? Yeah, ever since then, like that's how I view the government. For something like this to come out, it just sounds like an episode of Burn Notice. Because they would do something, and then when they were release it to the public, it was always something different to cover it up. So yeah, I'm not a conspiracy person, but I definitely believe something is being covered up here. Just not sure what that is. All right, so just when we thought Diddy was gonna do a couple years, go free and go on his revenge tour, and we weren't supposed to hear anything else. Now there's another part to this. It's like a spin-off of a show. So I'll play this video and then get your opinion on it.